Hello and welcome to We'll Throw the After Party. We were all dancing in our little cubes again. I missed it. That was so cute. We're cute. My name is Marissa. I'm Miss Bobissa, and welcome to the after party for the Eras Tour Taylor's version on Disney Plus. I'm joined by Sly and Alexis as always. Hello, everyone. How are you? Hello, Sly.
Hello, I'm here. I did watch this approximately 3.5 minutes after I should have joined this room for the live tonight. So it is fresh and top of brain, and I have lots of thoughts and more questions. So,
Perfect. I know. I saw you in the dock and I was like, well, I know Sly knows what time this is supposed to be, but where are they? But you made it. You made it just in time. And Alexis, how are you?
I'm well. I'm here.
You made it. Everyone's here except Liz. Of course, Liz is not here, but she's joining us in the comments as always. And I'm sure we will have many a story to tell about her as the night goes on. Oh, where is she showing up? She's showing up. The airport Wi-Fi buffered. But she's here. Alexis is here. Liz is here. We're here. Everybody's here. All right. We haven't had an after party in a minute. It has been a while. So let's catch up on what we've been doing in the meantime, what we've been enjoying, what we've been watching. Sly, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. I moved, if you can tell, by my lovely, very blank setup that soon will hopefully be a little more exciting than my German Lake Powell calendar in the background here. But yeah, I moved and finally in the city for real and not in the middle of the woods. I've been enjoying lots of things, but most notably, I am actually enjoying 911 for once. Shocker! Season 7 kicked off last night, and if you missed JJ and I's very late night, very immediately after watching the episode after party, you can check out Thirsty Thursday right here on this channel. Fancy that. So go do that. What else have I been enjoying? Oh, Rolling with Difficulty, which we also talked about last night. Their final episode dropped today. I have yet to listen to it because I was watching the Eras Tour movie. But if you want to dive in, this campaign is now complete. It's 5 seasons, about 10 episodes a season, and it's just excellent storytelling. Other than that, I'm hopefully potentially going to a hockey game soon and might get to see my child live and in person. I'm very much looking forward to that. And yeah, that's all I got for you.
Great. Awesome. What about you, Alexis? What have you been up to?
My life is really consumed with school and work. So I haven't really been able to watch new media. Certainly not new media that I enjoyed. So yeah, that's been me. I had a hard time coming up with things I enjoyed this time around, so I cheated a little bit.
Okay.
But I have been enjoying learning about the city that Liz lives in, courtesy of YouTube's autoplay feature, which has an algorithm I do not understand, because I started with interviews in Russian and I ended up in where Liz lives about 20 years ago. So I now know a lot about that place. That's been fun. I've enjoyed that. I have also enjoyed Ghost Story, which is a podcast by Wondery that I didn't listen to for a long time because they didn't know that I loved the network that produced it or the premise, but it's been a really great show that I've listened to again and again. So if you are interested in that or you've heard about that and you haven't listened, I would do that. my book club has been reading Postmortal, which is kind of a book about what we do when everyone has access to immortality and kind of what mortality then becomes and kind of the issues that would raise in society. And I've had a really fun time with that. So I have enjoyed that. And that is me.
Marissa, what have you been enjoying?
I have also been very busy, so I have not been enjoying much new media. But I did watch the Oscars last Sunday, and I powered through all 10 Best Picture nominees for the very first time. I made it through all of them. Usually I watch like the big hitters that I know are probably going to win, but this year I watched all of them, and I actually enjoyed most of them.
There you go.
If you want more on that, you can check out my Letterboxd. But speaking of the Oscars, I did also really enjoy recapping it with Liz on this channel, so you can watch that. That's waiting for your viewing pleasure at any time you'd like. I've also weirdly, surprisingly been enjoying Ariana Grande's new album, Eternal Sunshine, which is very new and different for me. I like a lot about Ariana Grande as an entertainer. Her music would not be my first answer when asked what I think of her. I think she's a very talented vocalist, but her music choices I don't really enjoy. But I really like Eternal Sunshine. It's quite a good album. And then let's see what else. In lieu of like actual TV, well, this is actual TV. I've been watching a lot of Dropout TV. There's a new season of Game Changer and actually that I've been catching up with. And if you want to hear more about that, you can watch the Dropout Drop-In with Liz, which is on Liz's YouTube channel, Producer Liz, and it's also on Spotify and I think Apple Podcasts. Liz, correct me if I'm wrong. That's mostly what I've been watching and what I've been listening to. And I've also been enjoying my Kindle. I got a Kindle for Christmas. And now I am a person that reads book-length fan fiction because I have a Kindle to read it on. So look at me moving up in the world.
I realized I left something off of my what I've been enjoying. I got to like kind of vicariously experience an entire Fall Out Boy concert at the beginning of this month.
Oh yeah.
And that was amazing for me personally. So I definitely enjoyed that. They sound even better than they did in like, I think I saw them 2013, 14, Say Rock and Roll Tour. Even better. I don't know how they do it. But
that's
yeah,
great.
That was fun.
That is fun. Well, you experienced an IRL concert and then you experienced a movie version of a concert. So shall we get into the topic of this after party?
Yeah.
Should we throw the after party, arguably?
We are throwing an after party?
We are throwing an after party for a concert movie for Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, Taylor's version. Before we get into this, can we do a quick beverage check? Because I have brought the requisite 3 beverages this evening, and I just want to check in with everyone what we have to offer.
Yeah, I have my emotional support water bottle and a dirty glass from Thirsty Thursday last night.
Excellent. Alexis, what are you rocking?
I have water. I have a protein shake I was supposed to drink before we started this episode. And just a more espresso than a person should drink.
Oh, I mean, I also have a coffee cup on my desk, and it's a cup I accidentally put in the dishwasher that does not dishwash. It used to be an Avengers mug, and now it has Lego flowers in it.
Okay.
So that is technically a beverage on my desk.
Yeah, the play of the dishwasher. I have too many mugs that can't go in the dishwasher, and it's really hard for me. I don't like it. I have the requisite 3 beverages. I have a coffee that I made at 2:00. So first Lies reference, that's 4 hours ago.
Jesus.
I have my water. that's full and ready to be consumed. And then I have my AMC Theaters Eras Tour collectible cup filled with my favorite Welch's white grape juice. So that's what I have to offer.
Do we all remember that time that Liz thought she found your juice and it was like,
oh my God, it was
absolutely
white
not your
cranberry. So nasty.
I think about that once a week. Truly I do.
It was really hard for me, but we persevered. We moved through it. We're still friends on the other side of it. It's okay. And sort of speaking of Liz, let's talk about our history with the Eras Tour.
That was a transition.
It was a good transition, okay? Liz and I went to the Eras Tour together. Shut up.
Okay.
You certainly did.
We did. I fought through Ticketmaster hell and I won, shockingly, which never happens to me. And I ended up with 2 tickets to Chicago Night 1. And bestie of all besties, producer Liz, came with me. That's where I purchased this lovely collectible crew neck sweatshirt. Then, as luck would have it, the movie version of the concert came out on my birthday. And of course, I had to go see it on my birthday. So October 13th, I took myself to that AMC and I watched the Eras Tour in theaters. And then I watched it on Disney Plus last night. And those are the 3 times that I have seen it. And I would just like to say, last night I intended to like put it on and like sort of pay attention to it while I like read my fan fiction and like did the dishes or whatever. I was consumed. I was glued to that television for all 3.5 hours. I kept being like, okay, like now I'll stop paying attention and I'll like start reading or whatever. And then something else would get my attention and I was enraptured for 3.5 hours, which was actually shocking to me. But Sly, you just watched it like minutes ago. So how do you feel about it?
I certainly was not enraptured for all 3.5 hours of it. But for the most part, it did get me. There was only a couple moments where I was like on my phone or whatever. I did end up in a spiral trying to figure out if anybody knew the name brand of the LED displays that she used. I could not find an answer, but I certainly tried. Before this, I had found a totally legal copy of the extended edition movie version of it.
Oh yeah, the like
to
rentable streaming version.
to acquire for some friends who asked for it. So I kind of like skipped my way through bits and pieces just to make sure it was like a good quality boot and that kind of I mean, totally legal recording.
Yeah.
You know, as you do. So I saw a little bit of it. I'd seen the opening, that kind of stuff. But no, I did not even try to fight my way through Ticketmaster hell. I did consider going to the movie once, and then I checked the times, and there was a single open caption showing left, and it was right in the middle of my workday. So that just never happened. So this was my first time experiencing it at all in full.
Love that. You did it. You made it there.
I did it.
What about you, Alexis?
Alexis is trying to like manage the dock and the stream at the same time, and it is not going well for Alexis. So I fought Ticketmaster and I lost. So I did not go live. My cousins went live, and what was so fascinating about that to me is that they, like, other than like overhearing me play Taylor Swift's music on vacation, had absolutely like no understanding of who she was or what her music was. Like, so their first experience with Taylor Swift was box seats at the first night in Atlanta, the Eras Tour, and they're huge Swifties now. So that's been really great for me personally. But they got to go live. I almost was on a journey to see it in Brazil, which, but the arranged marriage that was going to cover up is no longer in the cards. So we didn't get to go to that. Then I saw it in theaters with my mom, which was fantastic. And then I got a totally legal copy from my husband, which was great. And I have been occasionally taking care of a horde of children who's, like girls, boys, both ages are ranging from like 3 to 9. And the only thing that we have been able to agree on has been the Barbie movie and Taylor Swift, which has just been fun. So I've got to watch them watch like every totally legal bit of footage that they could get their hands on and dance to it with my cats as unwitting props. And then I watched it on Disney today.
Yay! I love that. You really got like the hits of the summer, the blockbusters. Barbie's in the Air tour. Like those are the hits.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you've seen them many times.
Many times. It's like Dino Ranch is too scary. Dino Ranch is like an animated cartoon. That's too scary. But what we can watch is like Taylor Swift, and we can watch Barbie. Only the version that has like the ASL interpreter. We don't watch the other version. So that's been my life lately.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's very silly. Let's get into some roses and thorns for this particular version. Sly, it seems like you might have some hot takes. So would you like to kick us off?
Do I?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I have 2 of each, so I'm gonna go back to back.
Okay.
My first rose is Evermore existing.
Correct.
Right? Thank you. That's not a hot take. That's just the truth.
Correct.
And I'm not sorry about that. My thorn is JJ has ruined Betty for me because every time I hear not the Gender Garden Music Awards performance version of it, it sounds wrong. So there's that. It's still good. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just not that one very particular performance that's excellent. My other rose is Maroon Acoustic. It was everything that I wanted and more. It's very good. That one was for me personally. So thank you. And then I think Marissa, your notes mentioned this, but once we hit 1989, the splicing between different nights of footage became very obvious, and it was very distracting. I could not take anything that was happening seriously. It was so ridiculous. We'd see a piece of hair be tossed over his shoulder, we'd immediately cut to a different angle, and it's a completely different hairdo.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is something that I noticed when I saw the tour in theaters. It is very obvious to tell as the night goes on what night each shot is taken from. And so when I watched it on Disney Plus yesterday, my approach was not to just take generic notes, but to do something that I called curl watch. And I just recorded every time I noticed a difference in Taylor's hair texture. And yes, 1999 is probably the worst offender. Okay, I guess I will go next. My thorn is the red set. It has been the red set since opening night. It was the red set when I saw the concert live. It was the red set when I watched it in theaters. It was the red set when I watched it last night. It's so long. And for what? I think Red is probably my least favorite album.
Oh.
I'm just
I
not.
just realized another thorn.
Oh, what is it?
Why does Speak Now only get one song?
Okay, well, it gets 2 songs, so watch your mouth.
Okay, well, yeah, but still.
Correct.
It only gets like one moment.
Correct.
And then Red goes on for like
Forever.
30 minutes.
Forever. And listen, never cut All Too Well 10-minute version. Taylor, you better play All Too Well 10-minute version at every concert you ever do for the rest of your life. I think that's the best song you've ever written. But you didn't need 4 other songs from Red on top of it. I did not need Trouble and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. No. And then my rose is that one man in the vest during the red set. His giant smile. He's just you know who he is.
Is this the dancer everyone's obsessed with that wears the puffer vest without anything else underneath it?
Yeah. Just that bestie is one of my roses. And then the Fearless Into Evermore set is my other rose because that just, it does something to me. It buoys both the child and the adult in me. It's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was the moment where I stopped being distracted and I like sat down and I was like, okay, I'm actually watching this.
Yeah. Liz can confirm for the like, I don't know, 30 minutes of the Fearless and Evermore sets, I was losing my damn mind. I was not like, I didn't expect for Fearless to like get me so much, but it like, I was like 10 years old again and it was amazing. And then we went right into Evermore and I started screaming about trees coming up out of the ground. It was amazing. And that feeling has like persisted every time I've watched it since seeing it for the first time. But what about you, Alexis? You didn't give much away in the doc about how you feel.
My rose is, that's what we're doing, right?
Yes.
Correct. I am awesome. I am medicated. This is going super well. My rose is Tolerated, just that like entire performance. I've also enjoyed watching a child reenact that with my cat on the coffee table. So if nobody else has had that experience, highly recommend. Everything about that song and its performance, I love. I didn't really have a thorn. I think for me, there is so much like, not necessarily joy, but like the permission to feel joy that's wrapped up in eras as an entity. And so I kind of just like sit down and like turn my brain off and go for it. But as you were talking, I will say everyone loves this dancer in the vest. And my thorn may be that for some reason in my head, he has the same energy. Nah, that's not quite right. He has some similarity to Taylor Zakar Perez. And once I saw it, I could not unsee it.
You're going to ruin this for me.
I don't know what it is, but that would be my thorn.
Is this the moment where I admit that I skipped through most of the Red performance to make it on time to this recording, and I have no idea what you're talking about?
Hold on, I'm gonna find a picture while I process.
TikTok is very like num 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 deliciato about this man. Like, I am in the minority here, but
yeah. Let's see. Who did I enjoy? I really enjoyed the dude at the beginning who was giving bodyguard energy when it was like all of the girls and Taylor and then him like right behind them, like being all bodyguard like. Shout out to that dude. I was enjoying you. There was another person. Oh, long hair bestie in the tux. I needed 10%. No. 30% more of them. They were never on frame. And I was like, I want to experience you right now and nothing else.
Their dad was on TikTok, like explaining his journey becoming a Taylor Swift fan. And it was like the most heartwarming thing I've ever seen.
Incredible.
Okay, hold on. I found a photo now. I have to. There we go. There he is. I still don't know his name.
Guy?
I don't know his name, but I found a photo. There he is.
Oh, okay. Interessant.
Unfortunately, Alexis, I understand what you mean now. That's really hard for me. That's really rough. Ooh, okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait. We're going to pull this up one more time. All right. Okay. While we're here, can we just, for the audience, totally not for me at all. No. This is for the fans. Can somebody explain the 22 white t-shirt thing? that's going on?
What about it?
Why? Why is it different? What's going on?
Oh.
What's the significance of some of the words being in red? Did it spell out a sentence? Like, what's going on with that? Nope, it's just random.
Yep. And everyone thought it would mean something, and it would be like it would add up to spell out like Speak Now Taylor's version out whatever day. Nope. It was just Taylor being a troll.
It was just all right, cool.
Yeah.
Love that for her.
I will say I had a student who went to the show in Singapore who had one of those shirts like not in English, and it was really fantastic. Like I was like, oh, that's cool to like see the translation of that into all of the different places that she's touring.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that. I haven't seen that. That is cool. Well, while we're at it, do we want to talk about some of our other standout moments? We've given our roses and thorns, but I feel like there are more faves to talk about. Oh no, is Liz correcting me? Nope. It's just Bunky saying Taylor being a troll is way more fun than Taylor being an Easter bunny.
Correct.
A magical being who leaves Easter eggs everywhere. Yeah.
I personally appreciate that explanation because I was confused. My reaction was like, sure, has there been a commercial where she was the Easter bunny? Because I feel like that's also a thing that could have happened. And I just like,
That's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's very silly. Yeah, what are some more? We called out a few of these moments here. I will say the inclusion of Long Live, which was a devastating blow in theaters to realize that it was filmed but not included in the regular run of the concert. It was just the credit song. Hard blow. That was hard to get through. The Sly in theaters, the Speak Now set was just Enchanted. So it was even shorter.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was not good. And I had a tour date that was before Speak Now Taylor's version, so it was before Long Live was added to the set list. Mm-hmm. So I was excited to see it in theaters, and then it wasn't there, and then I was like, well, what are we doing? But I really, really enjoyed seeing it last night. And correct, in Chicago, we didn't have Long Live. That's exactly right. It was probably, of the things that were like added back in since the theatrical release, it was probably my favorite part. Other things that were added back in were Cardigan and Wildest Dreams, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But for me, Long Live was the one that I like appreciated the most. What about you, Alexis? What were your standout moments? You wrote things down.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Fantastic.
You want to talk about the witches?
Great. Oh, we love the witches. Yes, correct. Where are my standout moments? Oh, okay. I'm with you. We're fine. Tolerate it again. The witches and the witch dance, which I just felt was really like creative and metaphoric and just like beautiful to watch. I will say what I don't have on this list is I think there's an interesting conversation to be had about like the way songs from tours that we had seen previously were used and performed in this. And for me, I liked maybe the translation of Reputation the best but I think that's in part because it was so close to how it was originally performed. So that was a standout for me. And I really loved the costuming in this, both like the costumes that we chose for each era and like kind of what those meant and what those symbolized. But I also really liked, and it's changed like tour performance to tour performance, but I think it stands out really well in the movie itself. Kind of the versatility in what dancers were allowed to choose to wear. And like the style of that, as far as like not everybody being in pants, not everybody being in a bodysuit, not everybody. I think that's something that on this scale feels, I don't want to say like new. It feels like something that like we should have always had that I don't think we have. And it really stood out in this to me in a positive way. And my last standout would be that for the movie specifically, I feel that Taylor et al. Really leaned into kind of the showiness of the performance in a way that like even from like clips of what we see live feels a little more down to earth. There was like a certain like musical theater-ness to the showiness in some of this that I think works really well in the film. So that was a standout to me as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Tolerated like shocked me in theaters. Like it was fine on tour, but it was like it was so far away, and it's such a like small performance that you miss so much of it. But when you see it up close, it's stunning. I like had a whole new appreciation for it once I saw it like delivered through the movie. And I will also agree with you, the Reputation set is like maybe my favorite. It knocks it out of the park. And in the movie in particular as well, I had a more profound experience watching it like in the theatrical release than I did in like on tour. So those are both things that I think like excel in the like movie format in a way that I maybe didn't appreciate when I saw it on tour. Yeah, that's me. What do you have, Sly?
Explaining how to use Twitter, a platform I haven't opened in like 3 months. Other than that, what do I have? Speaking of musical theater, I had 2 musical theater notes. One of them did have to do with Tolerate It, where in the middle of that performance, I did like cackle out loud when she did the Rent table crawl thing. And I was like, all right. And my other thought was I felt about this, like the framing and the editing and the, like how it was shot, that's a glass. How I feel about musicals that are filmed, and that's not very positive. And this is purely a selfish thing, is when I experience a theatrical performance, I as a person want to choose what I'm looking at. Like, I want to be able to focus on that one background character and follow their arc through the entire show. And this is something, especially when like the Newsies movie happened, and then again with Hamilton, is they are trying so hard to focus on what they want you to focus on that you lose the rest of the performance. And so it was really frustrating a lot of times that like everything was framed and centered on Taylor. Obviously, it's Taylor's show, but I wanted to be able to experience this as a theatrical performance, and I felt like that was lacking. But that's just a problem I have with all filmed versions of this type of performance. That wasn't answering your question at all. Standout moments.
No, but that's so fair. Like, I totally understand that. I wonder if it's different having seen the tour already and then seeing it filmed. Because for me, I felt like I saw much more of the dancers in the film than I ever did on tour, like standing in Soldier Field. Because, like, I was all the way at the, like, other end of the stadium from the stage, and every, like, you know, screen in the stadium was on Taylor. So like there was actually a lot of choreography that I got in the film that I didn't get in person. So I don't know, it's interesting, like, but I totally agree with you and I totally understand, and I have the exact same issue with the Newsies tour
Yeah.
footage, but Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, now talk about your standout moments.
Okay. The willow lights and light design with the like physical lights and how that interacted with the LED display. I loved that. That was so good. And then another standout moment was the dive. I knew it was coming and I knew I would cringe. And every time I do, this is a really nitpicky problem again. That is not how you do a proper dive. Like, that form is so bad. And I get it. I get that it's like a safety thing and where she's going and how it works. But every time I just feel the like feeling of belly flopping on water, like so viscerally every time I see her do that dive, and I hate it.
No, Taylor is not a swimmer and she is not a dancer. And most of that comes down to her shoulders and them always being like this.
Yeah. I had some other standout moments. Oh, all that jazz moment with the fishnets and the chairs.
Vigilante shit?
Yeah, that one. What else did I love? Oh, I
was just gonna say, when I saw the movie in theaters, this was an AMC that had a bar. And there was a girl in the theater that by the time we got to Vigilante shit, she stood up and did the whole choreography, the whole chair dance. And she slayed it. She was the only one in the whole theater, though. Everyone was sitting down and watching, and she was like, just for women. Duh. Like, she had the whole thing.
I would like to say, you said that, and I was like, that is the standout. It doesn't stand out to me, I think, anymore, because I have not been to a burlesque or bar class since the Eras Tour started, where that dance was not taught at some part in the course. Like, I have been taught that dance about 100 times at this point, and it just kind of feels like, eh. So thank you for reminding me that is a standout moment, and I do really enjoy it.
I did have, it's right here. I was impressed, and I know I shouldn't be because it's just like good practice, but the sound mixing during You're on Your Own, Kid, the way they balanced the crowd and the like live performance and the way they blended that throughout the whole song, and the ups and downs and how it ebbed and flowed was really good.
Yeah, I think the acoustic songs, like the acoustic set in general, is really well mixed. It sounds so good. Other parts of the show, I don't think I would say sound is good, but the acoustic set sounds great. I feel like we keep sort of going back to this, but the like experience of watching it live on tour in theaters and at home is at once the same and also very different. And I'd be interested to see like what people in the comments have to say about this, where you have seen the tour. But I wonder, like, Alexis, you saw it both in theaters and at home. It sounds like many times at home. Yeah. Does it feel different to you to see it in theaters versus at home?
I don't know that it feels cinematically different, but I think seeing it in theater was an opportunity for like this tiny little specific bit of community. So when we ended up going to a show where like a lot of moms had brought their like 3, 4, and 5-year-old daughters. And then also like a bunch of people my age had come. So you had all of these like Swifties who had kind of been fans for a while that were older, kind of trading friendship bracelets with these younger kids and kind of, dancing, getting up with these children and dancing. And that was just kind of a really impactful like bit of community sharing. That I guess I get at home in a different way when my cat is like dropped on the table during Tolerate It, because we can't crawl on the table, but my cat can. It's kind of a different vibe. But cinematically, it doesn't didn't feel that different to me. I sing louder at home, so maybe it's different for other people, but
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I love that. That like little sort of I wouldn't say that it's like a smaller set of community. I would say that like that is watching that is communal and like being in community, and like you got that like sort of mini tour experience at the movie theater. And I think that is so special about this movie and like and the Barbie movie and like those like, you know, pop culture like community moments that like seem to keep popping up recently. Yeah, I love that. It was interesting for me to see it in theaters because I had a fairly reserved like theater experience. There were people there. It was like the night that it came out, and there were people there like in their merch. There were people that dressed up in their concert outfits. Like people had friendship bracelets, but it was all very like reserved and like polite, and like nobody really was singing along that loud until we got to vigilante shit. And then of course everyone was into it by the time we got to vigilante shit. But like it was like, I don't know. It was it took a while for like people to give themselves permission to like participate. It was I don't know, I think we were like nervous because it was like we're in a movie theater and we like understand the sort of like decorum of the movie theater, and like, can I take out my phone? Can I like sing along? Can I like applaud? And like slowly that built and it became more of a theatrical experience than just a like cinematic experience. But it was interesting to see it like grow throughout the night. What are we saying in the comments? Sylvan saw it twice in theaters, once with a full house and once with only 3 others in the audience. It felt better with the smaller crowd. The big crowd didn't dance or anything. Very reserved and bland. But the 3 women that were there when I saw the second time sang and cheered, and I loved it. That's so interesting. It really like depends on your audience. That is, yeah, like you want to feel like you're free and you have that permission to like be in community and be part of it rather than just like a spectator, you know? That is very interesting. Well, something that was not in theaters is the bonus surprise songs that we got at the end. Sly called out Maroon already. As is always the case, I have to disagree with Sly because I don't really like Maroon. But we got Maroon, I Can See You Now, You're in Love, and Death by a Thousand Cuts. And then also our song and You're on Your Own, Kid, which was weird. It was like
that it was in the set and then also after.
Why are they also there? That was real weird to me. But what was our vibe on the bonus surprise songs? How do we feel about that?
Maroon, obviously, I really enjoyed. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorites. I do really like it, but I always thought that it would be a really solid acoustic choice. And then Death by a Thousand Cuts was excellent. I think that was not a surprise to anybody. But yeah, the others were fine. There were songs that I don't love as much, but I like appreciated the technicality and how they were performed for sure.
I agree. I think of the 4, Death by a Thousand Cuts was my favorite. It was also clearly Taylor's favorite. It like seemed like
it clearly was.
Seems like a fun thing to play with that crowd. I Can See You was kind of like it was a surprise. It was kind of interesting how it's like continued to have this like big like single treatment in a way that nothing really from 1989 Taylor's version got. And so that was sort of a surprise to see. I do also think it's interesting, like, how the selection process for the two, like, official surprise songs went down. Because I am so happy and pleased that there is a debut song, forever captured.
Oh, for sure.
I love our song. And then, like, by default, of course, it's going to be You're on Your Own, Kid, because we have to talk about the friendship bracelets and the whatever and whatever. And I would just like to use this public forum to say, Taylor, you can put it on the set list. You can just make it an official song on the set. You don't have to keep doing it as a surprise song. You could just add it to the set list. Everyone would be fine with that.
I think it slaps acoustically, though.
It does. Yeah. I mean, that's true. That's not even something that I considered. I don't think she has to change the production. She can just stand in her little midnight bodysuit and play the guitar and then, like, go into Bejeweled. I don't care. But yeah, I thank God that there is a debut song. But I don't know, of the, like, 4 bonus songs, are there any that, like, you would have put above our song or You're on Your Own, Kid?
I don't think so. I think they were the 2 obvious picks to be included in the full version. Like you said, we have the beginning and the end. They're both very thematic for the story she's telling. I think they were the best choices overall for a theatrical cut.
Yeah. What about you, Alexis?
I feel like I'm gonna be the one with the hot take on this, and I don't know that I love that.
Go for it. Go for it.
The surprise songs are so interesting to me, just as an entity. I think if I was somebody who was in a position where I was going to see the show live, that which song was picked or played, like, would have really mattered to me. I think seeing them cinematically, like, even though the production has changed, it still kind of has the feeling of, like, I could listen to this on a CD, like, so I've heard it. So it's kind of less impactful. What really matters or stands out to me, I think, is when we see a song change, like, not necessarily just in, like, production, but in, like, the way in which Taylor sings it. I understand that doesn't make a lot of sense. I think for me, there are some surprise songs that we get, when we see them totally legally in live footage or when we see them in the film, where you can see that she is giving different meaning to the song than when it was originally performed, or she is rediscovering the song as she sings it. For me, that kind of Death by a Thousand Cuts, I got that from. Maroon.
A change in performance.
I got that from. Yes, yeah. But I really wanted to love I Can See You. And to me, like, there wasn't anything in it, in the performance in the film, that made it stand out to me, like, more than any other time I've heard it performed. So, yeah, that's what I'll say. But I did love Maroon. I always love Maroon, though. I'm a Maroon girly. And I really liked Death by a Thousand Cuts. So.
But speaking of the different performances, I was a little surprised that we didn't get the rage cut of illicit affairs. That was so tame. Like, all I've seen going around TikTok is, like, the rage version of illicit affairs. And so that's what I was expecting, and that is not what we got in this film.
I agree with that. I was ready for it to, like, get me in the gut when I was watching it in theaters, and I was like, did I miss it? Where was it? What happened? Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I agree with you, Alexis, on I Can See You being kind of a weird, or, like, not weird, but, like, sort of, like, unsatisfactory choice. Just sort of like
I just assumed that was right around the time the music video came out, and that's why it was picked. But my timeline could be really off.
I mean, she says it's the first time she performed it live, right?
Yeah.
I think there was just something, I don't know, maybe I was misreading, but it felt like resigned, and it felt like she was
felt phoned in.
Yeah, it felt like she was a little tired on that one.
Yeah. Well,
Girlie, I get it, but maybe don't put it in the film then.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, she filmed the first weekend in LA, and then the second weekend was when she announced 1989, if I remember correctly. So it was sort of like a last hurrah for Speak Now. Speak Now was announced in July and came out I don't remember. No, stop asking me. Stop asking me. I'm going to say facts and then they're going to be wrong facts. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was like, that's the one that you need forever? Forever. You want that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Forever in, I was gonna say in HD. That's so dated of me. Forever in 4K? Like
forever in 4K. Okay, now this is really gonna bother me. I have to, everyone listen to the sound of my keyboard click for a second.
Love that.
Okay.
Would you like me to add some Foley for you?
Yeah, sure.
The way that was done, I feel like I'm in like a 1960s like typing office. Like everybody's like numbers. Like
okay. I was factually inaccurate. Speak Now came out on July 7th. It was, when was it announced though? Tell me when it was announced. It was announced May 5th in Nashville, and then it came out July 7th when she was in St. Louis, Kansas City, one of those. Travis was there, I think. And then 1989 was announced like August 9th? I don't know. The last night, yeah, August 9th, the last night of the tour. So it was like a month apart from, right?
Mm-hmm. About?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think the night that it,
math.
yeah, I think the night that the outlet Speak Now dropped was the night that she, are you okay, Alexis? Yeah. Okay. I think the night that Speak Now dropped was the night that she did the music video, and then like Taylor and Joey and all of those people came out, if I'm remembering correctly.
I don't claim to remember anything correctly.
Wrong. That was
believing you.
more than 2 months ago, and so it is no longer in my brain. That's how I feel about that. Speaking of releases, though, I want to talk about something that Disney Plus did for the release of the Eras Tour Taylor's version. I don't know if y'all noticed this when you were on Disney Plus, but they built menus on the homepage for every era. And I took screenshots of them, and I just feel like we need to discuss, because the films that they chose for each era are choices. Some of them are good and some of them are not, in my opinion. So to start off, Fearless, The Marvels.
Oh, this is what you meant by, okay, when you put menu, I got so excited that there was like an old school style like Disney menu where I could like pick what I was gonna listen to. Okay, I'm with you now. Okay.
I wish. I also wish that I could figure out, I would have to share my screen to get us all on.
No, we're
good. That's fine. Right? We can be cut off. That's
okay, great. Great. So Fearless, The Marvels. Percy Jackson, Echo, Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, and Brave.
I'll take it.
I'm confused though as to what at all is fearless about Chris Hemsworth in Limitless.
Right? I feel like they just
I don't
took the word fearless and then were like, these are about like being brave or like being fearless. It's like, but that's not really what the album is about. Like, that's not really the vibe of the album. Like,
well, and I don't feel like that one fits either way. Like, by word association or vibe, like that one is a weird choice.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one. I haven't seen it. I know nothing about it. I love that they threw a Nat Geo docu-series, whatever it is, in there. But yeah, it's definitely the questionable choice. All the other ones, perfect, no notes. I'll take it.
This Nat Geo documentary about being strong by a man that's strong and is white is super fearless.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's just nix that one out of here.
Speak Now, I feel like makes slightly more sense. Like The Princess Bride, fine. Enchanted, they just took the name of a song on Speak Now.
Okay,
also the name
I'm
of
not
the
mad
movie.
about it.
The Princess Diaries,
What's for me personally?
like, I'll give them that. Yeah, sure. I might have put The Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement instead.
I mean, me too, but
is this show called Dragons of Wonder Hatch? I've never heard of it, nor can I honestly read the title of it. But the cover art looks vaguely Speak Now-ish. And Peter Pan and Wendy.
That's the one I don't get.
That one I don't get.
Turns out my strongest opinions of the night are going to be about these menus.
Good. That's why I took the screenshots. Okay, then we have Red, 1989, and Reputation. Oh,
they really said we're going color theory on this first one, eh?
Yeah.
Except for Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, that's very red of a movie.
Well, yeah, but it's not like all of the other colors are actually red, and it was like nobody wanted to color tone that screen that screen grab.
Yeah, I mean, Big Hero 6, that is purely because the poster is red.
Absolutely.
Like, Turning Red, there's a song called Red on Red. Like, that's about, I mean...
I feel like Black Widow, both on vibe and color theory, was a giant missed opportunity.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. It might be farther on the list. This is just the first page.
That is how menus work.
I'll be honest, I did not keep scrolling through.
Nor should you.
So I want to say
now want to redact my previous point about them putting Princess Diaries. I just assumed they would go for the first movie and things, and if they have Incredibles 2 on here, they should have had Princess Diaries 2 instead.
Oh no, the Princess Diaries is included. It's on a different, more incorrect list, in my personal opinion.
Okay, we'll get to it.
Yeah. I do want to point out that 1989 is purely projects that came out in 1989.
Oh,
this is nothing to do with the album. The Little Mermaid is just a movie that came out in 1989.
That makes a lot more sense. I was like, these are so.
The Little Mermaid, also a missed choice for Red, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reputation.
Yeah, those are choices. I really like the inclusion of episode 5. That is so funny to me personally.
The Avengers Endgame.
That's a story.
Yeah.
Okay, but Endgame is because there's a song called Endgame. Don't you remember? There's a song called Endgame
Yeah.
on Reputation, and there was
With
this
Ed
whole
Sheeran
like,
and what's
Yes.
his face?
yeah, and there was this whole thing that like Swifties thought that Taylor was gonna be in Endgame because of the song Endgame. It was a
Completely
whole,
forgot about that.
yeah. I'm sure Disney Plus didn't know that part. They were just like, oh, there's a song called Endgame. We'll put Endgame.
What were you saying about episode 5, love?
Oh, just that's a really funny choice when you're talking about characters and their reputations. Like that's hilarious. That's the intern of the week moment right here.
Oh, I've missed intern of the week.
Wait, do we still have the banner? Oh no, we don't.
Oh, we better.
Oh well, it's in a different show. It's in a. Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Dun, da, da, da.
Intern of the week is Empire Strikes Back on Reputation. Then we have Lover
Oh
and
God, there's more.
Folklore. Oh, there's 4 more albums, Alexis. Then we have Lover and Folklore.
I excuse you?
Number 1 pick. Forky asks a question. What is love? Immediately followed by
Oh my
The
god.
Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement.
No!
And what a combination of features to put side by side as well.
If anything, the 2 Princess Diaries should be flipped if they need to
I
put
would
them
take
there.
that. Yeah, no, that is the opposite of a lover story. Are you kidding
No.
me? No, you're 100% incorrect. That was the worst choice they could have made.
Love Victor, I don't want to talk about.
No.
Robin Hood doesn't make sense. I guess The Archer, are they trying to do like a The Archer thing?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's too
thinking.
clever. You're giving them too much credit.
I was like, it's because everyone's first crush was the fox in Robin Hood. That's why
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on there. That's
I mean, they are hot foxes. Let's be honest about that. I mean, the rationale for this, I just don't understand. I guess we have to talk about Folklore too. Obviously, the Long Pond studio sessions, like, duh.
Uh-huh.
But
so
Gravity
really-
Falls, I would like to talk about Gravity Falls.
I kind of love it because I didn't watch a lot of Gravity Falls, but it was like my time. Like it was on like all the time growing up. I didn't like super engage with it, but from what I remember, they're in a camp and they have a book, and it's a book full of stories, and they're trying to figure things out and like mysteries and shit, right? Ish, kind of.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Cool. We're gonna pretend that's what Gravity Falls is about, and that I'm
Listen, if there's a-
100% correct.
If there's a book of stories, it checks out. I thought it was just about kids at camp.
It's kids, it's twins living with their uncle in like a camp-like place, and there's a big book, and I don't remember what's in the book, but I remembered the big book. I'm not gonna Google it, so we're just all gonna suffer
Okay.
not knowing.
Okay. And then they just like threw in most of the Disney princesses, and I just like
I would have really loved them to put the Long Pond studio session somewhere else. Like, I know that's insane, but like,
it's like Fearless.
Yeah,
Folklore, the Long
like-
Pond studio session.
it's just like, yeah,
That would be a great pick.
right, yeah. Like,
That would be funny. We're almost done.
We have 2 more. Let's
Evermore and Midnights.
oh God.
As I was scrolling the first time, I was like, they're not going to do a Tortured Poet Society, are they? And they did not. And I was honestly a little disappointed, but Evermore and Midnights.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
So we've got what? Ever After, Tuck Everlasting, Twitches, Tangled the series, and Into the Woods Forevermore.
Mm-hmm.
I get what they were going for. I don't know if I agree,
Uh-huh.
but I understand. I see the vision.
Yeah.
It wasn't an inspired vision, but there was vision there.
No.
Was there? Because to me, it feels like you put Evermore in ChatGPT and it spit out those.
I mean, Ever After and Tuck Everlasting are like they're cheap grabs. Like that's pretty easy. Twitches, I'm gonna assume is like some sort of Willow type thing.
See, I would have pulled Twitches too, but that's just who I am as a person.
I mean, maybe they did. I didn't go through the whole list. Twitches 2 is a good movie, Alexis. Watch it.
It's not that. It's that someday somebody is going to be like, how can you describe Sly in 2 sentences? And I'm going to be like, you know what? Twitches 2. That's...
And like Tangled before Ever After is they just searched Ever. They just went through their catalog and searched the word Ever.
Is it the Tangled film or the series? Is
No,
it the film?
It's the Disney Junior show.
The Junior show, okay.
Yeah.
Which is actually like such a fun show.
It is pretty. It's a pretty good show.
Shout out to everybody's least favorite leading man, Jeremy Jordan.
Now watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I love him so much. I just think he needs to be knocked down a peg occasionally, you know?
Well, no.
And
most tenors do.
Exactly.
Jeremy Jordan was the one on the bad season of Smash, right?
Okay, well, I would say it was the bad season, but yes.
Is that because you think both seasons of Smash were bad, or because you liked the second season more than
No, because I liked the second season more.
Oh my God. Well, that's a conversation for another time. My point was going to be that I feel like that should have knocked him down a peg, but apparently that is a well-loved season of Smash, which I am learning.
Yeah,
in this house,
classic.
Yes.
Yeah, we stand.
In this house, we believe in Andy Mientis getting hit by a bus.
God, I fucking love Andy Mientis.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Can we talk about Midnights? Because I think this is arguably the one that makes the least sense.
I already saw what I loved. Okay, we got Aristocrats, the original Cinderella, Marvel's Werewolf by Night, which, all right, La Luna, which I haven't seen, and then
It's a fun ride.
Pixar's Day and Night, which I also haven't seen. So four of these are children's media. And then there's Werewolf by Night, which definitively not children's media. And Midnight's definitively not children's album.
No. Again, I believe that they simply went into the catalog and searched Midnight. Or arguably just Night.
I'm confused by the inclusion of Aristocats. Can somebody smarter than me explain that to me?
No. I don't understand it either. I'm like,
I think
Karma is a cat. Like, what are we trying to do here? That's the only thing I could come up with, but I don't think that is real.
But I
think
feel
it's
like
Karma is a cat, and it's the poster has the moon.
Okay,
so it's at night.
Maybe I think it's more the poster than anything.
If it was Karma is a cat, I feel like that would have been an opportune time to include another National Geographic original documentary.
Correct.
And now that I've made that connection, I'm kind of pissed that it's not.
I was assuming there would be at least one documentary in every grouping after that first one.
Yeah, maybe they're later in the list. I don't know.
I'll make a spreadsheet. I'll go through and see every single listing that's included.
So yeah. I mean, we pulled Black Widow for red. Is there anything else that should be on those lists that's not? Like, I feel like there has to be, but
I
like,
feel like The Parent Trap fits somewhere.
mm,
And I was kind of, I feel like that, I don't know where, but like I feel like that's one that needs to go somewhere.
I feel like I would put it with 1989.
So would I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That would be my feeling
Notably
as well.
not coming out in 1989, but that's fine.
Nope. That's a 1997 release.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you knew that.
It's the year I was born. Of course I know when my favorite movie came out. It's the year I was born. It's my favorite Lindsay Lohan movie.
I'm like halfway through a Pride and Prejudice fic that's a modern AU Parent Trap. And I need to go back and finish it. But
How does that work?
A blast. It's okay, so it's Lizzie and Darcy have twins. They separate, and then Jane orchestrates the twins going to the same summer camp. So one of them's in London, one of them's in California, I think, and then the summer camp is on the East Coast, I think is the vibe.
That's what happens in the movie.
Okay, yeah. I love that movie. I've seen it a lot. I don't really pay attention to the details. It's just a movie you kind of put on and experience. I don't know if I could lay out like a plot summary. I've seen this movie many a time. Like,
yeah. No, the more you think about it, the more you start poking holes. So I would suggest just don't.
I just never have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest just don't.
Yes.
I would like to point out that I decided to pull up the menus, and I think there are maybe some additional pieces that need to.
Oh, please.
The first would be like 5 other documentaries included in the fearless category. So I think maybe we just thought documentaries with white people were fearless.
Okay.
And that's what was happening there. Also, like the X-Men animated series.
In Fearless?
Mm-hmm. And Logan.
What?
What are we doing?
That one I could see for Reputation.
And also one of the Indiana Joneses.
Dial of Destiny?
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
That makes a little... No, for Fearless?
It
no. I thought it was for Reputation. It would make sense for Reputation.
Yeah.
My version, this is weird. Mine includes Little Mermaid and Speak Now.
Oh.
So the original Little Mermaid
twist.
And the new Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Okay.
As well as Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Multiverse of Madness, High School Musical, and Rise, as well as Santa Claus, also included in red.
In red?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, my girl Wanda has got red wiggly woos, and that's about it.
Red wiggly woos. 1989 still includes The Little Mermaid.
Again.
No other documentaries so far, but a movie that looks like it was maybe trying to be a documentary called Cheetah. I don't know what that is. And
like the animal?
Mm-hmm, like rat. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. And The Simpsons.
And The Simpsons.
What are you doing here?
Black Widow included in Reputation. Okay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have put it in red, but like, I get what they were going for there.
2 more documentaries.
Oh.
World's Deadliest Snakes.
Okay.
Oh, in Reputation?
Icon.
Yeah. And Something Bit Me, which is a snake. As well as Punisher.
Okay.
Thor, Love and Thunder, included in Lover.
Well, yeah.
Okay, that tracks. Yeah. I'll give you that one.
Mm-hmm. Nothing important in folklore. Evermore includes the Evermore Chronicles. I don't know what that is.
Oh.
As well as a movie named Willow.
Yeah.
And Escape from Witch Mountain, but the original.
Oh.
Okay. Is that the Willow Disney TV show?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that no longer existed. Oh, okay.
Moon Knight is included in Midnights, along with Haunted Mansion, Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian. Notably,
Iconic.
Night at the Museum was included in a different category, in a different movie. So
Really?
And another version of Forky Asks a Question.
Oh my god. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? I mean, like, I like it. I appreciate it. I like when Black Widow came out and they changed all of the posters of the movies that she was in to her. Like, what? It's fun when they change up the homepage. But
I think it should always be her.
Correct. Let's get it. But also, like, what are we doing?
But we should have just changed all the posters to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They should do
Indiana Jones with Taylor Swift, and you didn't.
Yeah. just her in the a hat next to the boulder, like.
Well, if you were gonna do a collection, why not do a collection of all the movies that have had her songs in them?
Oh, yeah, that's.
Are any of those on Disney Plus? I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I don't know contracts and licensing, but like, if you were gonna do a collection.
Yeah, all of the most recent needle drops that I have seen are Apple and Amazon. So I don't know. Probably not.
It could have been movies.
What is Hannah Montana the movie in any of them? She's literally in that movie.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
I scrolled until it wouldn't let me scroll.
I have to fact check this because that's literally in the Fearless era.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like going off what you said, Slide.
It's not there.
We could have done movies. Disney could have done movies that would have benefited from having her songs.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
That would have been fun. Yeah.
Wow, they really didn't put the Hannah Montana movie when she's quite literally in it, and it is also from the Fearless era. But apparently, thematically, it didn't work with Fearless.
But white men in documentaries did.
Yeah. A lot of documentary, like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't love that. Do we want to talk about Sly? Have we answered your questions? You have more questions?
I believe so. Let me check what I highlighted because I did go through. We explained the 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. I still don't like it. But at least I have an explanation. We explained the 22 shirt lore. Cool.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
The child. All of a sudden, there was a child on stage, and she put a hat on them and then kissed their cheek, and I was like, "Where did this child come from? Where did this child go? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why did this? What? Please explain the child."
So every night at the Eras tour, Taylor Nation chooses a fan to get the 22 hat. And they're brought to the VIP section and they watch the show from the VIP section. And then they're brought up to the stage during 22. And she gives them the hat and they have a cute little interaction. And usually they trade friendship bracelets and it's very cute. In the movie, I believe that is Kobe Bryant's daughter. Usually it is like a child of one of Taylor's friends or a super fan or like a kid with a childhood illness. It's like someone that like deserves a special interaction. So I believe that is who it is in the movie.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I don't look at athletes' children online because I think that's weird. So I did not clock that. What's the point of that? That interaction made zero sense without any of that lore. And it was during the part I was fast forwarding through.
That's
that
true,
probably
yeah.
didn't add.
She was just like, bam, there's a child on stage. Which
Yeah. It was very shocking to me personally. And then do we have the name of the costume designer for the dancers for this tour? Because I feel like they need a shout out because almost everything was excellent. I think there was like 2 things I didn't like and everything else was phenomenal.
I'm sure it is available. It's probably in the credits, but I don't know. And I don't know that it is one designer either. Because I know that each era Taylor is dressed by someone different. So it might be the case that the dancers are also dressed by somebody different era by era. That's as far as I know.
I also appreciate that there are like whole wardrobes for them because they are not consistent show to show, which I also think is really interesting and cool.
I did find an article of all of the designer names, but it was only for Taylor stuff. That's not what I was looking for. I was specifically looking at the dancers the whole time.
Yeah. I hope it's in the movie credits. What if we go to IMDb?
I did skip the movie credits because once again, I had maybe 2 minutes after I finished to sit down at my desk for this recording tonight.
Top cast, all cast and crew. Dancer, producer, cinematography. Costume design by Joseph Cassell. Also wardrobe for Speak Now, stylist for City of Lover concert, costume designer for All Too Well, the short film. Seems like maybe this is the person. I don't know. That is the one person credited.
There we go. I'll take it.
Cool. So maybe, but I don't know. Are those all of your questions?
One of the questions I answered myself. At one point, she goes to do a heart, but then her pointer finger is tucked in, and I was like, "What's with this wonky ass heart?" And then I realized she was still holding her guitar pick, so her hands were like this, and her like one finger was just like tucked underneath to hold her pick, and I was like, "Oh, I got you."
Yeah. I will say you are the only person that took real notes.
Yeah, I did. Some of it's just like Evermore's just better. I'm not sorry.
And that's correct.
I do love a white tie affair.
Mm-hmm. That would be Last Great American Dynasty.
Yeah. I really loved the dresses in My Tears Ricochet. Now I have no clue what they looked like, but at the time I was enthralled.
The black lace, like mock neck.
Those were
with
great.
The gloves. Yeah.
I didn't love the lavender haze jacket, the like faux fur with the tassel stringy. It did not look good.
I agree.
At one point there was like a rain display trickling down, and it did look almost exactly like the new Kraken pre-game opener video where the water trickles down from the twins onto the ice. So that did take me out of it a little bit. I was like, what are we doing here? I was really concerned why only 2 of the dancers got pants at one point, where it was like 2 people, 1 person in pants, 2 people, Taylor, 2 people, 1 person in pants, 2 people. That looks silly to me.
Who is it Cam that's related to a football player?
I think so.
I know he did like a really short like not even interview, like filmed kind of Q&A in Australia, and said that they kind of picked like based on like there was like a wardrobe for them to choose from, and they picked based on what they were comfortable with for that performance. So I don't know if that had something to do with it too, like if those were the dancers that were more comfortable in pants versus, like, I agree it's like visually weird, but I don't know how much that would have played into something like that.
All right. What else do I have in mind? Oh, I really want the sparkly trench from Mastermind.
Totally agree.
That was a great pick. And then it was a jump scare to get the credits rolling with 30 minutes left in the film. Why is this here? I didn't realize that we were saving the acoustic set for after the credits. But it sure did me a concern.
Mm-hmm.
It freaked me out as well. I didn't really love that choice.
I had the warning that the acoustic bonus songs were after the credits. So when I was prompted to skip the credits, I was ready. And I will say I did also have the warning that Cardigan, Wildest Dreams, and Long Live had been cut when I saw it in theaters. Didn't believe it until I was seeing it, though, because I was like, the movie came out 2 hours ago. What are you talking about? They cut those songs. There's no way. And then I watched it and I was like, I can't believe they cut those songs. But I very much enjoyed them being returned to their rightful place.
Oh, I did have a note. Speaking of Cardigan, I thought it was really interesting. I feel like I had this thought before when I saw the set list, but they split up the trilogy. And I was like, I don't know. If you're going to play all three, I thought you would play them back to back, but all right.
But they're split up on the album.
Yeah. Which is why I thought you would play them together. Because unless you're like me and make random ass playlists just to put them together, like you're not going to get that experience very often.
That's true. I mean, clearly it was an intentional choice and she doesn't want them to be heard together, which is interesting. That's something to noodle on. I realized this today after I had watched it last night and not paid attention to this. Did they cut the creepy ass 7 poem? That wasn't in there, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Great, then it probably wasn't there. I hate it. There's the transition. 7 is on folklore, right? Whatever it is, Evermore or folklore, whichever the one is. The transition into the set is a spoken word poem version of the lyrics of 7. It's so weird. I don't like it.
Glad I missed that.
I'm very glad that it did not appear in the movie.
I can tell from Sly's face that if it had appeared, that would be the whole show tonight.
Yeah,
you would have remembered it if it was there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as I experienced it, and I'm glad that it does not live on in perpetuity. Would anyone like? Are you okay? Oh no. Would anyone like to know my findings from Curl Watch?
Yes, absolutely.
Great.
Give us the tea.
Great. The first curl spotting was during the bridge of the man. It was underneath in the back.
I did have a question for you before we get into this.
Yes.
As I was going through, at one point I was like checking your notes versus where I was to see what was up. What is your definition of curl? Because I think we might have a slightly different
Any
answers.
texture.
Any texture.
Any texture.
Okay. Cool. Great.
Anything that is not the pin straight that she started the show with.
Okay.
Literally any texture. There are 2 curls by her lover speech. By the time she's like, I'm Taylor, I'll be your host for this evening, blah, 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 blah. We can live the Christmas lights. There were 2 curls in the back. Then by the Archer, the full underlayer was curly, but the hair on top of it was still straight, so you could only see it like peeking through. Then there was some discrepancy, like at the start of almost every set, her hair was straight again, which was very weird for me. What I eventually assumed was that they brush her hair during costume changes. So like the hair on top lays straighter again.
That makes sense.
The curliest, we got full curl by the middle of the Evermore set. And then it continued to be at least slightly curly for the rest of the show. I would say the curliest, based on my notes, was like My Tears Ricochet into 1989. Like all of 1989 basically was incredibly curly. Then the acoustic
really funny,
set.
Wasn't that era like the short, like straight bob?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at me knowing things.
Look at you. You learned how to become a Swiftie on We'll Throw the After Party.
I did. We did 3 whole shows about it.
Then Shake It Off was incredibly curly, but Bad Blood was not so curly. And then it was curly again, and then it wasn't again. And then the acoustic set was not really curly. But then Lavender Haze, after, like when she came back for Midnights, it was like so curly and wet.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was basically curly the rest of the show. And then the bonus songs, again, was not that curly again. It was just like, it's so, like, I don't, not to go off about it, but I just don't understand why they knew she was doing a stadium tour outside. And they decided that the tour hairstyle would be down with no styling and straight.
Steve, okay, my question is, why don't we change it based on the weather?
Correct.
Because we have changed costumes throughout the show. We've changed shoes throughout the show. Like, things have changed. So I would think that you would do a little, like, weather apping. And you'd be like, oh, but I don't have curly hair. So, like, maybe this is not a thing. But that you would be like, hey, it's going to be really humid. Let's let it live today.
Yeah. And like in Blank Space, there are those visuals like on the LED screens where it's like different versions of her in the outfits, and her hair is like pinned straight with like perfect bangs. But then you see actual Taylor with like totally curly hair and like wet bangs. And it's like,
and
are we like
curls on the side?
Yes. Yeah. Are we like acting like we are dependent on this style because of the visuals that were pre-recorded?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would have had to be a deliberate choice that this is the image we want to present. I just think it's a bad choice. And I'm coming from the place of somebody who has had long hair and then as soon as I could, chopped it all off. But the idea of having long, straight hair down for 3 hours makes me physically ill. And I just don't understand how you could be hot and sweaty and gross with hair that is changing and down for that long and just deal with it.
I mean, I just don't understand why. There was clearly an understanding. Like they're not making an attempt to like keep it straight the whole time. They're not like going in with a like Dyson wireless straightener between sets. So like there's clearly a conscious understanding that it's not going to maintain that style throughout. Like she makes jokes during the like acoustic set, or like when she's at the piano for Champagne Problems, she's like, my hair has returned to its factory setting or whatever. Like clearly they understand that it's not going to stay that way the whole time. So I just don't understand why that was what they chose.
Just style it natural or do an updo or something. Like why is this the brand image we're going for this tour?
Yeah. to me, what would bother me the most, and maybe this is just me, but it would be feeling it change.
Mm-hmm.
Like I personally could do a 3-hour show with my hair down, but like I could not do a show where I was stressing about my hair being inconsistent and like that having to be something that was touched during a costume change. Like
Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, the Reputation Stadium tour, she had like a deliberate heat styled wave. Like 1989, she had that fuck ass bob. Speak Now, I don't know what she had during the red tour. She mostly also had that fuck ass bob. Speak Now, she had like curly in a ponytail.
mm-hmm.
And then Fearless was like curly just down because she's a country girl from the farm. So I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's not like she has a consistent, reliable, like, this is my tour performance hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
It like changes by tour, but I don't know. It's just interesting that was the choice, because it also means that she has to heat style her hair for every concert,
and also
it doesn't work. Like if the choice was to be like, we want it to be straight, we want that to be our brand image, why are we not wearing a wig? Yeah. Is that not also an, like, legitimately?
That's absolutely an option.
No, that's absolutely.
I think it would have been a better option, honestly.
That feels like it would make more sense to me.
And let me just be unequivocally clear. She is not wearing a wig. She has not worn a wig on the Eras tour whatsoever. Anyone that has sent me a video being like, Taylor's wearing a wig, she's not. She hasn't been. Let's put the rumors to rest.
She probably should have been, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. So that's probably too much time spent on her hair. I
think it was just enough.
Okay, that was the perfect amount of time spent on her hair.
I'm really looking forward to like people coming into this show, like thinking they're going to hear about this movie, and it's Dad getting like 30 minutes where we're nitpicking these like the menus, and then like 30 minutes complaining about the hair.
If that's not what you're here for, I don't know why you're here.
Welcome to We'll Throw the After Party.
We should maybe like warn new listeners, new viewers. Hey, this show is gonna go off the rails in 3 minutes.
For the uninitiated, hey, this show, it's gonna go off the rails in 1.5 minutes flat.
I was gonna try so hard to be professional tonight, and then I took a Xanax, and then Marissa was like, Liz isn't gonna be here, and I was like, oh, okay. Like,
I don't know why that was the thing that tipped it over the line, but
I don't know. I guess I felt
Liz always tries to be professional.
Yeah.
And like rein us in, you know? But Liz is being busy on flights. So
yeah, Liz is on an airplane right now.
She like looks professional to me. So I was like, I'll go off Liz's professional vibe energy. And then Marissa's like, nah. And I was like, or I'll drink a mug of espresso after that Xanax and we'll do,
which is just like, you're going up and down at the same time. Are you okay? Like,
no,
that was a choice.
Ooh, we have fun though. We embrace the chaos. We have fun. Is there anything else that we desperately need to cover about the Eras tour? Is there anything positive or negative? I feel like I've covered it all. I spent too long talking about her hair. I told you that I like the Reputation set. I said I don't like maroon. I think I'm good. Yes, Alexis, sorry.
I want to go last.
Oh, okay. She's going to finish this off.
I think it's really great that we had the full spectrum of movie viewers here, with myself only watching this one, Alexis watching in theaters and at home, and Marissa touring it up. I thought this was really fun, getting everybody's perspectives. My final thoughts, I'm glad this exists in the world. I think it's cool that you're now creating this environment where the casual fan can be part of such a big cultural moment.
Mhm.
I don't think everybody needs this. I think in 3 to 5 years we will need less people doing this. That's how I'm feeling about it. I don't want this to be a trend. I think it was great. I had a great time. It was fun to like, because I was not the person watching the TikTok lives every night and like diligently tracking everything. I did not go. I was not dressing up like so to like have a better understanding of everything that happened, I think it was great. I'm glad it happened. But to all the artists out there who think they should record and make 5 million versions of a movie out of their next tour, we don't need that.
Yeah, I'm happy that we have landed at the Disney Plus version and we can just let it rest now because
Mm-hmm.
there have been a lot of iterations and I think we're good now. I think we're good. Alexis, do you want to close us out?
Oh, I was gonna say that I also enjoyed The Man, which I think is a hot take. Like I think there's people that are like, it has a showiness to me that like worked in the movie format. I don't know if it worked live or not, but I did want to say that. I think I agree that maybe we're done with iterations of this. That being said, I think to me, there were some obvious things that we should have done with this iteration that we didn't get that have kind of been surprising to me. Maybe less surprising because it's a Disney Plus project. And I think that these are things that Disney has typically missed. But like for a film that is this long, not having a menu, I think is weird. Like not having an option for me to skip to certain eras, even I think is odd. I also noticed that like when I pulled the scroll bar, like it didn't tell me what song was what, and like people can do that on YouTube. So I was also like surprised that like I couldn't scroll and see like Evermore, right? I think part of the argument for this film was, like you said, Sly, like this is a big cultural moment. We want everyone to be able to be a part of it. And I think that's the argument that Taylor made, right? I think that falls short when you do a project like this and you don't increase the accessibility of that project when you are putting it on a platform specifically for it to be accessible. I know throughout the tour, there were a lot of issues with interpreters, for example, and I had looked forward to this version of the movie, like with other projects that Disney has done, having an interpreted option to make it more accessible, but also to make up for kind of the issues that we saw throughout the tour. Like I just felt like through both for accessibility and just like as a PR win, like that would have, as sad as that is to say, like that would have been a good choice. Maybe that's coming later. I didn't have that in my version at home. So I was kind of surprised by that. But overall, watch it with your cats. Watch it with people that will reenact it with your cats. I think that's a fun time. Yeah, yay! I didn't want to end on a bummer, and then I didn't know how to.
I have 2 more thoughts. I just checked my Chrome extension, and the fan made extension that adds interpreters to projects across multiple platforms does not yet have a version, but hopefully they will soon. That is often done by deaf performers, and it's really great. It's just sign up if you're looking for that places. And then you did remind me of another thought I had live, which I did not put in my notes, so I forgot it existed. But during The Man, I was really sad that everybody hates on the song Me, because I enjoy that song. I think it's a bop, and I think it would have been great in that slot. But instead we got The Man because people are dumb and don't appreciate me for the fun bop it is. So that's my hot take of the night to close us out.
I think that the intro to the man is just the most like millennial cringe culture. You're making me feel like I'm the man. It's just
it's like it is very much like beat, beat, beat. Like I to be in the film, I was like, that was the point where I was like, we're leaning into like this just being like a show, like musical theater, like show.
Yeah.
It's a jukebox musical.
It is ultimately musical theater. Well, this was so much fun. I think we nailed it. I think we covered it all. Let's do like a quick wrap up. Anything you want to plug, anywhere you want people to find you, anywhere you don't want people to find you. What have you got going on next, Sly?
Well, I do not want to find people in my apartment, which is a me problem. I do often forget to lock my door now, but that one's on me. I do want people to find me and JJ doing Thirsty Thursday. Who knows when that'll be back because my schedule is a mess. But JJ might be doing some things in the following weeks. I do want people to find me over at Point in Progress. I have a new project in the works that may or may not gotten a little bit of a tease on this week's episode. It is still like very much early days in the works, but it's coming and I'm so thrilled about that. And if for some reason you happen to find me at undisclosed place of employment, say hi. And that's it.
Yay. What about you, Alexis?
Oh, don't find me. Don't. Yeah, if you're not watching me here,
you'll never see her.
You can find me here on We'll Throw the After Party.
Yeah, you can find me here.
After Party show.
Yeah, don't find me at my house. People have been doing that lately. Don't find me here. And I keep saying there's going to be more TikTok content, but I've said that for like a year and a half now. So I love you. I'm here.
Perfect. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Miss Abobissa. You can find me here on We'll Throw the After Party. You can also find me sometimes on the Dropout Drop-In with Liz, at Producer Liz. That's on her YouTube channel, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And keep an eye out for what we have coming next on We'll Throw the After Party. Things are going to be a little...
Wait.
What?
You can also find you writing on your website.
Oh, yeah. You can also find me at missabobissa.com. I told myself that I was going to plug that before the show started, and then I didn't do it. So you can also find me at missabobissa.com. Thank you so much. Keep an eye out for what we have coming up next on We'll Throw the After Party. Things are going to be a little bit different. We've got I was going to say Freaky Friday. We've got Thirsty Thursday.
Right. Rebranding. It's now the Freaky Friday after
Thirsty Thursdays coming to the platform. We're going to have some more pre-recorded stuff, some more live stuff. Things are going to be like maybe not as consistent, but more exciting and more fun. So be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at After Party Show to get all of the updates. We post a calendar of everything that's coming for the month ahead now. So be sure to take a look at that on Instagram. We've got some exciting things coming in April. Maybe about Taylor Swift in the Tortured Poets department. I don't know. But as always, you can follow us at After Party Show, SHO. And we will see you next time on We'll Throw the After Party. Bye.